Catherine, Princess of Wales, pays tribute to the late Queen Elizabeth II by planting a tree ahead of the royal family's traditional Christmas. New images from last week's tree planting ceremony in memory of the princess's late grandmother-in-law, the Queen, shows her looking sophisticated in a blue and green tartan attire. As part of the Queen's Green Canopy project, the princess was photographed in the Dean's Yard of Westminster Abbey preparing a planting hole. The mother of three cut a stylish figure in her jacket by Holland Cooper for the occasion. Beaming with joy, she planted the wild cherry tree, which was a gift from the Duchy of Cornwall. On September the 8th, after Charles's ascent to the throne, her spouse, Prince William, inherited the estate from Charles. William and Catherine immediately inherited the titles of Duke and Duchess of Cornwall from Prince Charles, but the new sovereign had to create his firstborn Prince of Wales on September the 9th, as the title can only be bestowed by the monarch. In Dean's Yard, the cherry tree was planted to replace a horse chestnut tree that died, which had a sudden summer limb drop earlier this year. Catherine appeared in good spirits as she chatted with a crowd who had gathered outside the abbey, before bending low to add some soil to the planting of the tree. When Catherine had finished placing the final shovelful of dirt onto the tree, she also unveiled a memorial to the late monarch. The plaque read, "This wild cherry tree, a gift from the Duchy of Cornwall, was dedicated in memory of Her late Majesty Queen Elizabeth II by Her Royal Highness the Princess of Wales on the 14th of December 2022. The tree was one of the thousands included in the Queen's Green Canopy initiative. The tree planting initiative was first announced in October 2021 to commemorate Elizabeth II's Platinum Jubilee and was led by the late monarch and the then Prince Charles. The initiative's original intent was to commemorate the late Queen's 70th year on the throne, but after her death in September, it took on a deeper meaning. The Queen's Green Canopy tweeted a number of photographs of the moment today, writing, "Amidst the final preparations for the #Together at Christmas Carol service at Westminster Abbey last week, the Princess of Wales planted a tree for the #Queen's Green Canopy in honour of Her late Majesty the Queen Elizabeth II. They continued, "Alongside the Dean of Westminster, the Very Reverend Dr. David Hoyle, and members of the Abbey's gardening team, Her Royal Highness planted a wild cherry tree in the Dean's Yard, which joins over 1 million trees planted across the UK as part of the #Queen's Green Canopy. Westminster Abbey has a unique bond with the royal family as the setting of special occasions, past and present. Queen Elizabeth II's coronation in 1953, the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge's royal wedding in 2011, the upcoming coronation of our patron, His Majesty the King. The news comes just days before King Charles would gather the royals at Sandringham for an emotional Christmas, but this year's festive season will be one like no other for members of the family attending the celebrations. Since the late Queen's sad passing 3 months ago and Charles's accession to the throne, this will be the first Christmas together. The Queen Consort Camilla's children, Tom and Laura, who are attending the solemn celebrations for the first time, are among a larger group of royal guests who are reportedly in attendance. Additionally, it will be a bittersweet time for the royals, according to former royal butler Grant Harold, who served the King and Camilla for 7 years. He told the Mirror, "I think for them it will be very emotional this year, and I've no doubt there are tears that will be shed on the day or the night before because they will be remembering her. But I'm sure, as well, it will be a fun time for the youngsters, and it will also carry on how the Queen would have wanted it to do." Under the late Queen, the Sandringham celebrations would always adhere to a predetermined ritual. This includes a gift exchange on Christmas Eve, attending church together on Christmas morning, and tucking into a traditional Christmas lunch with all of the trimmings. Grant predicts that despite Charles's current position of power, not much will alter, with the possible exception of one of his mother's traditions. He added, "Knowing what the King is like, I think he will try to mirror everything that has been done in the past. But what is interesting is, I don't think he will stay there until February like the Queen used to do, to mark her own father's passing. I don't see him doing that, and I don't think his schedule will allow it." However, despite Grant's belief that Charles's Christmas will be relatively the same as it was in past years, he speculates that the King's New Year's celebration may be considerably different. The former butler explained, "It will be interesting to see what happens this year for New Year, whether the King stays in Sandringham like the Queen used to do, or whether he keeps up the tradition of going up to Scotland. He may feel he should stay at Sandringham because that is what the Queen did, but then he loves Scotland like his mother did." From memory, New Year was always quite private. Of course, he would have friends come round, but it was always quite low-key. So much so, I used to get time off so I could go and visit my mum and dad.